Hi everybody, this is Katie. Welcome to episode 11 of Enchanted Emerald Isle. Today is the last and final episode of season 4, and I'm going to share the full island tour with you. The color scheme for this island is predominantly green and brown, and I wanted to create a spring-themed island that was old-school country style with a few cottagecore vibes mixed in. I'm going to be starting at resident services here. You can see the Clover flag in the background, and I'll go ahead and pull up the map so that we can take a look at the villagers on the island. You can see I'm here, and then I have Anchovy, Quilson, Dina, Cobb, Anicotti, Frobert, O'Hare, Callie, Murphy, and Opal. They are all a little bit unique to villagers that I've had in the past, and it was so fun to encourage different villagers to live on my island. Again, you can see that green and brown theme coming through really strong, even on the villagers themselves. Over on the map, you can see we have the big, beautiful shamrock style that I created in the earth itself, and that most of the village is on the bottom half of the island, while the enchanted forest is the top half of the island. Let's go take a look at the area. I'm going to start on the left here in town, and we're going to go over to Nook's. This is the little outdoor kind of a pub style cafe that I have outside of Nook's Cranny. And then just down from that, we get into the beach. And so I let the chairs and tables trickle down so that they were part of that area. And then over here, we put together a little bit of a lounge area with some snacks and treats and little Clover pillows, just so we could enjoy the beach. I love how many trees and flowers there are to walk through in that area. And you can see that Clover path was carried down even all the way onto the beach. As I walk up to the Able Sisters, you can better see the Clover pattern that I used in this particular island build. This is a custom pattern that I put together, and the creator code will be in the description of the video. I felt like it was a lot of work to put together, but in the end, it's exactly the vibe that I was looking for, and I was really pleased that I took the time to make that happen. Right behind the Able Sisters, you can see I've created a little nook with a laundry area. I wanted it to be very old school on this island with as little technology as possible to appear a little bit like the Irish countryside from old times in the past. I've never been to Ireland before, so it's my interpretation more of the stories that come out of Ireland, so keep that in mind. I'm walking across resident services here and I'm entering the other neighborhood. You can see I've got my house here is still really small. I intentionally didn't upgrade it all the way because I wanted it to stay really quaint. And I only decorated one room in the house, meant to look a little bit like a cozy cabin where you are going to come and have just a single room to live and work and cook and do everything in. Outside of my house is a garden of flowers, and this is what I imagined my girl to be, was a flower gardener. So the biggest bulk of flowers here. And then you can see O'Hare in watering the flowers. He has been doing that a lot on the island. He really enjoys that garden. And then down on the beach, I put together a flower stand, and I imagine my girl spends her day gardening and then taking her flowers and plants down to the beach so that she can sell them to everyone who comes by. And it just seems like a really beautiful story to me. Here you can see Callie and Frobert down on the beach in front of Callie's house, and I'm just going to come up here. This is Anicotti's house, which I love because it's all green, but it has a little bit of that pink roof, which pulls in the spring vibes. I am using a little bit of pink and yellow since it is a spring-themed island. Just up from the little fishing spot is Dina's house, and she has a little pond. I love the little pond, so small, but also where you can see so much forest in the background of it. And as I come across the log bridge, you can see Murphy down just looking at the trees. So cute. I'm just passing in front of Opal's house there, down onto the beach. This is O'Hare's house, which I feel is just perfect for the beach area. And there's a little picnic spot here, sweet and simple, with a custom pattern I used on the ground. And then the bonfire. I imagine this being a wonderful place to come out and enjoy some community time. I've even seen the villagers sitting down here enjoying the fire. So a really beautiful activity for the evening on the island. There's a few little places to enjoy the beach, and I tried to keep those simple and straightforward in a lot of places. This is Cobb's house here. I liked the street clock because it felt like it was more of a community intersection area. And then just up from that here, you can see I put some of the houses up on a little bit of a cliff. So Quilson's house on the bottom, and then up here I have Murphy's house, which is the one that's in the cabin, and I have Anchovy, which is just south. And then they have the garden space by them. I loved the way this garden came out. I wanted it to look old and wild and a little bit miscellaneous, not like it was a straightforward garden, but more like a community garden. And so I was really pleased with that. And I'm just gonna come down the beach a little way so that you can see this rock here has a seating space that allows you to look up and enjoy the lighthouse. I love when you can see the lighthouse in the distance of just regular places where you might be working or playing. And I did put it up a little bit on an extra cliff space on the peninsula. The rest of the space down here, I wanted to be more of a beautiful forest area as we come to the back of the island and we have the graveyard. This is supposed to be an ancient graveyard where I imagine the people who settled this island probably were buried here and honored here. And so down here on the rocks in the back, you can see I've got the ancient stone with the arch meant to honor those who came before, and a little bit of a table down here so that it looks more like a workspace and less like a scary graveyard, more like an honorable graveyard, but very old and very ancient. Now that we've seen the town area, I'm going to pass back through resident services here and show you the campsite. It's tucked back in a little bit of a valley here, and I have used the kids' tents to add in additional camping spots. And in the back, you can see I have kept the museum small so that Blather's tent would remain a tent the whole time it was on the island, and it could fit in and be a really adventurous little excavating spot. I imagine that Blathers loves the island because he can come out and explore mostly a forested and unexplored area. Just popping in real fast, you can see Blather's cute little tent with all of his supplies. Very old school and very appropriate for the theme that I've created on my island. I like that you can see so much of the trees and the water in the distance, kind of a backdrop to the campsite as well. Across resident services here, I'm going to pop to this little bridge in the back, and we're going to go up into the Enchanted Forest. There's a little bit of a bench here where you can see a gnome tucked back in. He's meant to be a little bit of a secret gnome, ushering you into the magical area. And then from here, this is my favorite view on the entire island. This is the Enchanted Mushroom Forest, and from where I'm standing here, you can see so much down below with the water, but then also the Stonehenge in the back. And this ended up being better than I imagined. Even though I had a good idea of what I wanted, I was so pleased with the way it came out, and is by far my favorite place to come on the island. In addition to this little overlook, there is a second one. So we are going to walk through the forest here, just a wild, enchanted, peaceful spring forest. And then to the other side, there is a second overlook where you can see it has a similar style where there's a little valley of mushrooms down below. And you can see all the way through to even the mushroom and trees in the distance. These little overlooks, I just loved them. I think they came out perfect for this island theme. Up from the incline, we are now on top of the shamrock, which is the area I terraformed to look like a shamrock from the map. And there is a secret if you get through the forest where you open up and find the leprechaun treasure stash. This is all the gold and treasure chests and things in addition to the rock garden up here, put together like the leprechaun has been living and just absolutely stashing everything he could find up here for ages. The rest of the forest and the shamrock up here is really straightforward, very simple with the trees and patterns and flowers, but I love being able to look down and see a lot in the distance, the graveyard down below. It's just a really good perspective on how high I am and then down to the beach. I really loved the way that the leprechaun's treasure came together with the background. It just feels sneaky, and I like having to scoot between the forest to find it. The island really looks the same at night, so instead of doing a nighttime tour, I decided to do a cherry blossom season tour. I went forward just a couple of days, which officially puts us in cherry blossom season, and I just wanted to show you how beautiful, vibrant, and spring just blossoming like crazy on this island. I love that the pink was a little bit of an undertoned color, but man, in cherry blossom season, it goes so well with the greens, and I adored walking through it. I was actually really surprised at how much I loved it during cherry blossom season, and will definitely enjoy playing this game during the season like this. So I'm just going to walk through so that you can see at least the basic areas of the map with the beautiful pops of pink everywhere. Are you ready for this view? Look at that. Look at the cherry blossoms in the forest. So pretty. I was completely tickled. I couldn't get over how much I loved the beautiful pink coming out so that you could see it. And I probably should have shaken the eggs out of the tree, but you know what? That's part of cherry blossom season if you're in the northern hemisphere. And then up into the forest here, so that you can see on top of the shamrock where you're really in that deep forest back and forth, and to the leprechaun's hoard in the back. Just perfect. Here are a few of my favorite clips from the island. I hope you found something useful here and that you continue creating in this game. Until next time, have the best Animal Crossing day.